When dealing with large documents, it would be quite useful and is quite useful if you can do a search for particular references. That way you can move through the document much quicker than just scrolling through each page. Now we're going to use our access manual _extract file, which actually only has 8 pages, so couldn't really be determined and classified as a large document, but it will deal with the search in just the same way. So how do we activate the search dialog box? Well, we either do Ctrl F for find, nice and logical, or on the home ribbon right to the right hand side is a pair of binoculars for search. If we give that a click, it opens up the navigation pane on the left hand side here that will allow us to search through the document. So in my file here that's about Access, let's do a search for Microsoft, and we find that it finds 4 occurrences. These are my results, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I want to click on one of those results, it will take me to that point in the document, or you'll see in the document it's actually highlighted the occurrences. So I could scroll through to look for them, or I can click to jump to them. Now that's not too difficult when there's only 4. If, however, we do a much wider search, perhaps for the word database, we find there are 52 results for the word database. Now again, it's highlighted them in the document, so I could click and scroll through and see all the times that the word database is repeated in this file, which is extensive. Or I can scroll through the results list and click on one when it finds it, and it will jump to that point. Or I can even use the little navigation keys here to move from one result to the next. And you can see the navigation here is incrementing. So 20, 21st, 22nd, the 23rd occurrence. So there are a number of ways of moving through when there are multiple results. You could even look on the Pages section, and it will show you the pages, and you can see little yellow markers where the word occurs. That way you can get an idea of the spread of a word. So there, for example, on page 4, there's quite a lot of occurrences, and if I click page 4, it actually navigates to that page as well. So the Pages section will also show me the results, but in page layout, so that I can jump to the pages much quicker. I can also choose the Headings option, and it will show me where the word database is appearing in headings. And I can see there they are highlighted in yellow, and again I can click and it will take me to that point in the document. So the document has use of the word headings from styles. We can actually search through those, and that's a good quick way of moving to that point in the document also. So we can see the headings that use the search term, pages that use the search term, and then each of the individual results. And it will show you, as you can see here, an example of the surrounding text so that you've got an idea of where you're going to end up when you click. Now, one thing that you cannot do with the navigation pane is do a case-sensitive search. It's looking for database, but you'll see it finds database in lowercase and database in title case all the same. It treats the letters really is what it's looking for. If you want to do a case-sensitive search, then we need the advanced find. Now that's over here where the find icon is, but there's a little drop arrow, and we choose advanced find, which opens a separate dialog box. Now what it does is it remembers what I typed in, which was database, but if I click more, I have options here that regard the case or find whole words only. So if I change that database to be lowercase d and tell it to match the case, now it will only find database in lowercase. If I tell it to find whole words only, it will only find the word database. So it will ignore databases, which is a word. Obviously it's not database on its own. We could also do wildcard searches, sound-like searches, and find all word forms. Really, the main ones personally that I would use here are matching the case and finding whole words only. Let's click less. The options are still chosen, we can see them here, but now we can see what's happening on the screen. So we can go find next, and you can see it finds the first occurrence of database, find next, find next, find next, find next, and it will take us to the next occurrence of the whole word database in lowercase. So unlike the navigation pane, that would find all the occurrences of database, whether it was within another word, part of a word, lowercase, uppercase, or title case. Now we can further restrict our search here by using find in, which allows us to do the search that we're asking, but only in the current selection, so I would need part of the document highlighted, the main document, or just in the footnotes. Alternatively, we can use a reading highlight that says highlight all, that will then effectively go through the document, a bit like the navigation bit does, and highlights database. So now I can scroll through and see in yellow, so I can see it very easily, where database in lowercase as a full word is used, and therefore make any appropriate changes as required. If I then close the advanced find, I'm taken back to my document. Notice how it leaves the highlight in place. To remove the highlight, we would simply need to go back to Find, Advanced Find, and you can see that the highlighting is taken off because it doesn't know now if we're going to do a separate search or the same search again. And then I can cancel, and I'm back into my document without all that yellowness in place. So that allows us to find occurrences of text in our document. Now, one of the reasons you might want to find occurrences of text is to replace them. Now, in order to replace text, we can either go straight for the replace icon, or we can come through the advanced find dialog box to make it find what we're looking for, which in my case is the word database, match in that case and whole words only. Then I can go to replace, and it remembers these settings. So it's now only going to find database in lowercase, and I would like to replace that with database in uppercase because it's important. What I would then do is click replace, and it would find the next occurrence, which is here, and I can replace it by then clicking replace. You can see it's then replaced that occurrence and then jump to the next. Replace, replaces that occurrence and jumps to the next. If I then don't want to change this occurrence, I can click find next, and it will jump to the next one without replacing that one. Now, this can be a slow way to move through a document. If you are confident that you actually want all the lowercase words here of database to be replaced with totally uppercase database, then we can go with replace all. That will then go through the document for us and replace all the lowercase database with uppercase database. And you can see it's done 36 replacements. Now, that would have been a lot of clicking to find next, replace, find next, replace. But you might not always want to replace all. So it's a little useful tool, but be careful with it in case you don't want to replace all. So that's okay. And they're done. We're now in uppercase. This replace option is very clever. Our extracted document here is about Microsoft Access. If suddenly we wanted to be about a different database system, then we could take our document and change the reference to Access all the way through. So if I go to replace and type the word Access in, I don't actually want to match the case or find whole words only. I want to replace Access with Oracle. All the way through the document, replace all. They've made 8 replacements. Do you want to continue searching from the beginning? Because we've simply gone down, because we have a search here that says down. So we've gone 8 from this point onwards, and then yes, and in total there have been 26 replacements. Okay, close. And now this particular document is now about Oracle, not Access. Now, I haven't been particularly clever because I didn't replace Microsoft. So it now says Microsoft Office Oracle 2013, when Oracle doesn't come in year versions. So a little bit more cleverness would be appropriate in this case. Let's take Microsoft Office, copy that text, go into the replace dialog box and paste. And we're actually going to replace that with nothing, not even a space. Replace all, made 1 occurrence, back to the beginning, made 2. So it actually only got mentioned twice, which was quite useful. So now it says, now you can click Oracle 2013 to start Oracle instead of Microsoft Office. So you can do the replacement really quite easy, really quite quickly, but you have to be on the careful side of caution to make sure that your replacements don't then make the document rather useless or incoherent. So that gives you the ability to find text or occurrences of text in a large document, and also to replace text in a Word document.